This is the story of how a 2-year-old video destroyed Nicole Curtis's HGTV career in a single day. On February 11th, 2026, the network pulled every episode of Rehab Addict from all platforms and canceled the series entirely after leaked footage showed Curtis using a racial slur during filming. Nicole Curtis had been a fixture on home renovation television for over 15 years by the time this happened. Born on August 20th, 1976 in Lake Orion, Michigan, she came from a family that ran a garbage collection business in Detroit, attended Lake Orion High School and graduated in 1994, then bounced between colleges in Georgia, Florida, and Michigan with plans to study law before switching to education. None of that stuck because her real passion was restoring old homes. Rehab Addicts premiered on October 14th, 2010 on the DIY network with a philosophy that set Curtis apart from every other renovation show on television. While competitors were gutting houses for open-concept kitchens and farmhouse chic, Curtis was preserving historic details and architectural integrity in pre-World War II homes across Detroit, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Akron. The approach found an audience, and by January 2014, the show had moved up to HGTV for its 4th season, eventually running for 9 seasons and racking up 113 episodes. Curtis became known for her passionate advocacy for historic preservation over demolition, but behind the scenes, things weren't always smooth. Burnout forced her to step away from the show in 2018, though she managed to come back on January 28, 2021 with a spin-off called Rehab Addict Rescue. Season 9 premiered in July 2025 with its first 2 episodes, and then Curtis made what she called an executive decision to shelf the remaining episodes to recut them for later release. On February 7th, 2026, Curtis announced on Instagram that new episodes of Season 9 would finally return, and 2 days later she posted again about the show coming back to screens. Episodes 3 and 4 were scheduled to air at noon on February 11th, and the comeback looked set. Then, Radar Online published the video. The footage, obtained exclusively by the outlet, was filmed approximately 2 years earlier, around February 2024, in Wyoming during a regular day of shooting. Curtis said, "Why? It's the last one. Oh, fart N-word." And according to multiple sources, she used the full racial slur. What happened next was captured on camera, and that's what made the clip so damning. Curtis immediately said, "What the fuck is that I just said?" while the crew laughed, and then she turned to a crew member named Nick with a plea. "Nick, you gotta, can you kill that?" His response was blunt. "No, I've got 35 minutes. I'm not killing it." Curtis could only manage, "Oh, fuck my life." That crew member, Nick, was likely either Nike Fry or Nick Christopoulos, both credited in the episode where Curtis wore the outfit shown in the clip. And here's the strangest part of this whole story. The footage had already aired in an episode back in June 2025, which means viewers had already watched it without the moment gaining any attention or going viral. HGTV's response was immediate and absolute when Radar Online isolated and highlighted that specific moment on February 11th, 2026. The network pulled Rehab Addict from all platforms that same day, including HGTV, HBO Max, and Discovery Plus, issued a statement canceling the series entirely, and the new episodes scheduled to air at noon never made it to screens. Curtis issued an apology through TMZ, claiming the word is not part of her vocabulary, but the damage was already done. A 15-year career, 113 episodes, a successful return from hiatus, and a planned Season 9 comeback all ended in one day because of footage from 2 years earlier that had technically been public for months. The timing makes it particularly brutal because Curtis had just announced her return, fans were excited, and new episodes were literally hours from airing when the clip surfaced and brought everything crashing down. This was also a woman who had weathered other controversies and kept going. Curtis had been through a very public custody battle with her ex Shane McGuire over their son, Harper, born in 2015, had already taken a hiatus from television and successfully returned, and had navigated the challenges of the industry for years. None of that mattered once the video became a story. There are some things a network won't stand behind, and in today's media landscape, especially for family-friendly networks like HGTV, the calculation is simple and the decision gets made quickly. The fact that the footage was 2 years old didn't matter, and the fact that it already aired didn't matter either, because once it goes viral, the risk isn't worth it. February 11th, 2026 was supposed to be Nicole Curtis's triumphant return to television. Instead, it became the day her HGTV career ended, not because of ratings, not because the show had run its course, but because of 4 seconds of footage that a crew member couldn't kill 2 years earlier. The comeback was canned before it began.